Hello and welcome to the 700 Club. Congress has given pro-life groups a victory. Now states don't have to give federal taxpayer dollars to Planned Parenthood or other abortion providers after a very close vote on Capitol Hill. Mark Martin has the story.
The Republican legislation narrowly made it through the Senate Thursday with the help of GOP Senator Johnny Isakson of Georgia, who returned to Capitol Hill after back surgery, and the tie-breaking vote cast by Vice President Mike Pence, so the measure passed 51-50. In addition to allowing states to deny federal funds to Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers, Republicans say the bill lets states divert that money to organizations that don't perform abortions, like community health centers. The House already approved the measure last month. The bill now goes to President Trump, who is expected to sign it. Democrats called the bill an attack on women. Senator Patty Murray of Washington labeled it shameful and dangerous. If the measure becomes law as expected, it would give Republicans and pro-life groups a morale boost and a victory after the party's health care overhaul failed to come to a vote in the House last week. The health care bill would have kept federal funds from going to Planned Parenthood for a year. Meanwhile, Speaker Paul Ryan held a meeting Thursday with conservative leaders, including pro-life leaders, to talk about moving the Republican agenda forward.
I asked leaders of the conservative movement here in America to come today to talk about how we move forward and how we advance our principles. We believe in the principles of conservatism. We believe in liberty, free markets. We believe in life, the Constitution. These are important principles that we have an historic opportunity to make good on.
Mark Martin, CBN News.
We do believe in life, and you know, it's been said that today in our culture, perhaps the most dangerous place for a child is in the womb of its own mother. Great to see something positive being done to perhaps change some of that. Well, in other news, President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court has gained some more support in the Senate from 2 Democrats. Ephraim Graham has that story from the CBN newsroom.
Joe Manchin from West Virginia and Heidi Heitkamp from North Dakota are going against their party by announcing their votes to approve Neil Gorsuch's nomination to the Supreme Court. Manchin and Heitkamp cite the judge's record and experience as reasons for their support. Both of them also faced difficult re-election battles in 2018. And President Trump won their stage by huge margins last year. Republicans need at least 8 Democrats to support Gorsuch to get to the 60 votes needed to confirm him. But well more than half of Senate Democrats oppose him. If Republicans do not get enough Democratic voters, they can use the nuclear option and move ahead to confirm Gorsuch with just 51 votes. North Carolina has repealed and replaced its state's transgender bathroom law that attracted national attention. The new law was passed by the Republican-led legislature and quickly signed by the new Democratic governor.
This, of course, was a bipartisan compromise. It represents that it's, nobody is 100% happy, but I will say I'm 95% happy with what this bill does. I think it's a great step forward.
The measure repeals the best-known section of the original law, a requirement that transgender people use the bathrooms, public restrooms, that correspond to the sex on their birth certificate. Supporters said the measure was necessary for privacy and to protect people from sexual predators. Opponents said that was nonsense and the danger was imaginary. Now the question is whether some sports championships, businesses, and others will return to the state after staying away because of that original bill. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's security cabinet approved Israel's first new settlement in 2 decades. The new settlement will replace Amona, an Israeli outpost in the central West Bank that demolished in February under the order of the Israeli Supreme Court. The new settlement will be built near Shiloh, near the Palestinian city of Ramallah in the West Bank. Palestinians claim the West Bank and East Jerusalem as part of a future state. The Israelis captured those areas in the 1967 Six-Day War. For decades, the term generation gap has been used to define how younger people see the world compared to their parents. Those differences range from culture to politics to relationships, and they can also apply to how young people see Israel. On a recent visit, some young pastors got a special look at the country and its history. And as Chris Mitchell shows us, that's why one ministry is introducing millennial pastors to the land of the Bible.
We need to represent Israel in a fresh lens, in a new way, and cultivate that heart. And so that's why trips like this are really important.
Eagles Wings founder Robert Stearns believes Israel is too often portrayed as a villain by media, the UN, and movements like BDS, which calls for boycott, divestment, and sanctions against the state.
And too often, in a narrow first glance look, Israel can be painted as the Goliath and the Palestinians as the David. And so it's really vital to come here and understand the realities on the ground.
Those realities include seeing an Israel beyond the headlines and other noise.
So many people in my generation are like, I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm going to have to see it in order to really believe it. And so to come here, you see the truth. And you connect with people, you talk with people, and you really do find out what's actually going on here.
Some felt that as millennials motivated by social justice, they needed to hear the Jewish side of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Taking the journey really of the Jewish people and being able to walk that with them, and then being able to now say, I stand with Israel. After seeing their journey, there's no other side to stand on, and you can't grasp that unless you're here.
Rabbi Penny Dunner, one of America's leading young rabbis, joined this group of evangelical pastors.
I think that they get it, and I think that the more that Jews realize that they have brothers and friends in the evangelical world, and particularly with the emerging generation of millennials, I think the greater the chances for the success of the state of Israel and for the coming of the Messiah.
Many felt it was time to make the trip to Israel.
I would challenge everyone to do whatever it is, whatever sacrifice they have to make, whatever they have to set aside to make this trip because it's life-changing.
For me, it's completely opened up my eyes to God's plan for this land, God's plan for the Jewish people, God's plan for Christians, and this partnership that started to come together it's history in the making.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Stand with Israel. So nice to see young people's eyes being opened. Terry?
Thanks so much, Ephraim. I've had the privilege of going over there numerous times, and not only is it a rich spiritual experience for those of us who are Christian believers, but there is so much in history that we all need to know about. Don't just take a position without understanding the why behind it.